Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Fisayo. Today I'm going to be sharing 10 things that I wish I knew sooner, both from my experiences and the experiences of other people around me. They're not necessarily regrets. To be honest, I don't live my life by regrets and I don't regret anything. So let's get right into it. The first one is the work authorization, OPT, CPT, knowing what the requirements are, knowing what the timelines are. My school did a very good job, educating us on what the timelines for filing and submitting your applications were. But I found that it was not the norm. For some people, the students have to go by themselves to find out, oh, when are they supposed to file? After how many months are they supposed to report? And when these things are not done at the right time, it can cause unnecessary delays. So please check in with your school's international student office to ensure that you are compliant. Even when you are compliant, there are some times where things just happen. I remember in 2022, right after my graduation, I had applied for my EAD, but somehow it was supposed to be delivered to me, and it even showed that a notification that it was delivered, but checked my mailbox and it was not there. Apparently, there's an issue with FedEx. They didn't deliver it, and then, they just said they had delivered it. You won't believe that that experience had me with a pause of my employment. It was not funny, but it took a lot of like escalating and escalating. So you need to be aware of whatever offices you need to escalate issues to, who you need to be speaking to or with as an international student, to ensure that all things are fine and perfect as it pertains to your work authorization. Secondly, knowing about filing for yourself, thinking about your route to permanent residency in the United States if you're a current F1 student. It used to be that many times, students come in, they get a job, the company files for them, prepares their green card and all of that. But as it stands, many companies are deprioritizing that, leaving many international students to go and do this for themselves. So it's a good time for you to start getting information on the EB1, the EB2, the EB3, seeing where you stand. If you need to build your profile up for any of the categories, knowing what you're supposed to be doing and giving yourself a timeline. I personally did the EB1. If you've been seeing my videos, and I got my green card in a 3-month period. I created a community for people who would commit to writing and submitting their petition in a 7-week period. And then more details, in the description. I'm going to put the link, where you can sign up. So please, if this is something that you are currently considering, it will be great for you to join a community of other people who are also trying to do the same thing that you are trying to do. Now, I said secondly before, but I think, the filing bit and the work authorization were kind of the same. The second point is on networking. I've always known, like literally since my undergrad, that your network is your net worth, right? And I've applied that principle in many areas of my life. If you've been following my journey from when I got into the US, you'd have seen that I got an internship in 2020. In 2020, I did the internship in 2021. So I got the internship from Nigeria. When I was in Nigeria, I applied, and went through the interview rounds, got in. When I got into the US, I found that that was a 1 out of 5 scenario, that in the current job market, it's not every time people just apply and they don't reach out to either the recruiter or the hiring manager that they get called back. Unfortunately, that was something that I kind of struggled with, because I'm like, all the way in another continent, I just applied without trying to like do excessive networking, trying to see who I know in the company, trying to put my face in front of the recruiter or the hiring manager. I just applied and I just got in. So coming here and seeing people having to network, having to do coffee chats, having to have conversations, there's some industries that particularly, like, that's literally the way to get in. So you need to know what is happening in your industry, the industry that you're trying to get into as an international student. Start developing soft skills like communication, teamwork, adaptability. All of these are very crucial for your career advancement here in the United States. Now, on skills, the third point I want to notice: being in jobs, taking courses, being in situations that will help you develop high value skills. That is very important. Make sure that as you're navigating the whole school system, you are developing your critical and analytical skills. All of these will make you more well-rounded. Engage in case competitions beyond your regular, coursework or schoolwork. Don't just be very rigid, like, okay, these are my courses and this is what I'm going to do. Expand your horizon. Okay, do things that will make you see the world. Travel, get involved with your new environment and try to see how things work over here. Don't be too fixated on the things you've left behind, the people you've left behind. Now, I'm not saying you should lose contact or lose touch with home, right? No. But don't be too fixated on the past, right? Ensure that you are just developing your cognition and your understanding of your new environment. In every way possible, just make sure you are developing high value skills. So for example, if you had the opportunity to choose between two jobs that are literally in the same industry and they have comparable pays, your research should be more tilted towards, okay, which of these companies prioritizes learning and development. That is going to help you as a person and as a professional, because in your early stage you just need all of the learning that you can get, especially as a new person in this environment. Now my fourth point is understanding the credit system. Coming from Nigeria, where we didn't practice using credit, it was all new to me, but I quickly got a hang of it. In 2020, when I came, I got myself a credit card. I used Deserve at the time. And then fast forward to 2023, yeah, last year, when I was trying to buy a car. This was January of 2023 for my birthday. I wanted to buy a car, and the days leading to it, I'd done a lot of research. In fact, I'd been to a dealership just to look around to see, okay, which car do I like, this. And then on my birthday itself, I went to the particular dealership that I was interested in. And after like a couple of hours test driving some cars, I eventually chose one. And when we got into the office, we had agreed on like the down payment, and it was time for them to, run my credit to see, okay, how much interest do I get to be charged and how much would I be paying every month. Turned out that they said I didn't have a credit score. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean I don't have a credit score? Like, this is my app showing in front of me. I have a score of over 700. What do you mean? Apparently, when I got my credit card in 2020, I hadn't applied for my SSN yet. And so I had not linked my SSN with my credit card. So even though I had a credit score, I didn't have a credit score as a US person. Do you get? So it was only after that day that I linked it together and then they could see my credit. So that day I couldn't buy the car. I couldn't buy the car, sadly. Anyways, it turned out that not buying the car, that day, it turned out to be a blessing. But what if I really needed the car that day? I wouldn't have been able to do it. So this is something you should pay attention to and you should be mindful of. My next point is learning about taxes. So, whether you are earning significantly or you're not earning at all, please file your taxes as an international student. Okay? I don't think you should be spending $1,000 paying somebody to file your taxes for you. Like, how many sources of income you got? No, really, how many sources of income you got? Like, you can literally just put on ChatGPT, I'm an international student. How do I go about filing my taxes? Where do I need to learn the right information? What websites do I need to go to? There's so many free platforms where you can literally file your taxes by yourself. And I know that I'm talking to a wide range of people, okay? Even though some people are international students, we're not on the same, level. There's some people who are coming as international students, but they're very well established, have 10 businesses, traveling from continent to continent every other month. Sorry, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the regular average international student who is living on a stipend. You should be doing things like filing your taxes by yourself. You're in a new place, so get involved with the system. Try to understand what is going on. And there are plenty avenues for you to learn about it. So I would highly encourage you to learn about taxes and ensure that you are filing at the right time. One thing you should absolutely know as an international student is that sharing makes you learn better and positions you as an authority, a thought leader in whatever field. Okay. Everything of value from you enhances your worth, and you're already valuable. Like, so create value from what you have and what you know. You've gone through this many years of your education, undergrad, working professionally, being in grad school. Now you've amassed a ton of knowledge. Begin to share from your experiences, begin to create from the things that you already know. And I think one example that I can say of this is, I want to give an example from the Bible, right? I reckon with the fact that, not everybody who is watching me is Christian or, has faith or beliefs. But please stay with me. We have the Bible, right? And it was written by a number of people. Now imagine that these people did not take the pain to document the events of their life or the events of a main character around the time they recorded it and put it in a format where we can read today and make reference today. Imagine if people didn't do that. In the same way, there's some of us that we must of necessity document the events of our lives, not just for us, but for many people that would benefit from what we're sharing. Now, I reckon that this is not for everybody. Okay, sharing and even knowing when to share is not for everybody. I reckon with that. But if this is you, you are already having an internal witness right now, and the things you create, um you never know how much creating things will do for you. You are enriching the lives of people by creating value for others. You're even saving them time. Okay, you're making their own journey easier by seeing a prototype of something that's happened before and then giving them a blueprint to follow through. And you know what you're doing with sharing publicly? You are increasing your luck surface area. anything anything can be possible if you're visible to the right audience. Okay, and visibility is not the primary goal, because it can be really frustrating when you put your all in and you don't get the visibility that you desire. But if you have the primary goal of just impacting and paying forward your learning, if the visibility comes, all well and good. If it doesn't come, glory be to God. I mean, you guys know, if you've been following me, you know how much documenting and sharing things have paved ways for me as an international student. So I don't need to convince you so much about this. But creating comes in different ways. I'm not asking you to be a social media person or a YouTuber, but you know how well or how best to document and to share. Now, my next point is on imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome exists, but you can unexist it from your dictionary. Okay? Now, me, before I moved to the US, I don't think I ever experienced imposter syndrome because I was always in spaces with people that looked like me. Okay? But coming to the United States, I can imagine how mentally challenging it will be knowing that you are in the minority category and the people who you are surrounded by don't necessarily look like you. But there is something I want to tell you, dear international students: your classmates are not smarter than you. Okay? Everybody is waiting for you to share your own learnings and your own experiences. You're in that room because your voice matters. And you'll be depriving the class of the value, of the perspective, the international perspective that you bring if you're not speaking up, if you're not talking, if you're not sharing your own ideas in projects, in courseworks, in conversations. You are not doing them, in fact, you're doing them a disservice. That's the word. You're doing them a disservice. So please make your voice be heard, make your impact be felt. You're there for a purpose. You're not just filling a spot, you actually got there on merit. So use it to the fullest of your capabilities. And don't let imposter syndrome get the better part of you. No one is thinking less of you. You're the only one who can think less of yourself. And you wouldn't do that to yourself, okay? For watching, let me know if any of these points resonates with you. Please don't forget to like this video and comment, okay? Let me know which of these points you found the most surprising or interesting. And if you also have things that you wish you knew earlier, as an international student settling into the United States, please drop it in the comments. People watching, would obviously be reading as well. So don't deprive us of your own knowledge and your own experience. I'll see you in my next video. Till next time, take care. Bye.